Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Techbot Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a good Wednesday. It is 12:55 p.m. Here in Arizona. Market's about to close in the next 5 minutes, which means that Tesla is going to be reporting earnings today. So I thought that I would go live. I appreciate all the feedback you guys gave me in today's earlier video. Again, I do upload new videos every single day and I do trade live every single day. So if you ever want to stay subscribed, again, also don't forget to drop a thumbs up. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that we are looking at. We have Tesla down 1.72%, and this is just minutes before it is set to report earnings for Q3 of 2024. For those that do not know, Tesla has an EPS, which is an earnings per share expectation of 59 cents per share, and revenue is expected to be right around $25.4 billion. So the big concern with Tesla is demand slowing down. They've done everything from price drops to incentivizing buyers with lower interest rates. Now, after the robo-taxi event, it seemed like a lot of investors were not impressed, I think is the best way to put it, because we were rallying right before this robo-taxi event. We ended up peaking, and if you look at previous highs of 266, we ended up hitting that same general resistance range, and then from there it's been all of downhill. So the big question that I'm asking is, okay, well, now we're at lows of around 214, 210, right? 210 per share. We're kind of holding above that. That's our general support range right now. Now that it's about to report earnings, is this going to be the bottom, and are we going to begin to recover back to 260, decent upside, or is it just going to continue to sell off, another falling knife, another leg down, and head sub 200, right? Well, we have to hit 200 first. That was a previous support range. That's actually what we hit lows of before we actually ended up recovering to highs of 260. So that's going to be really interesting to follow up with, where if we get that break below 210, the next support is going to be right around 200 flat, and then the next support below that is 190. So it seems about every $10 that Tesla breaks a support, there's a next major support. So again, Tesla to report earnings in the next few minutes. Let's see. How we doing? What's up? What's up? Here we go. EV sales have not declined. Today to 30. You guys are wild. Okay. So a nice little pullback right before the close. Okay. And I know it has its earnings call about 1 hour and 30 minutes after the market closes, which is another very important part to this, right? So sometimes you tend to see a second wave of either selling pressure or a quick change of direction, and that can happen, an hour after it reported earnings. And that's where the guidance or the earnings call comes into play, where they don't just talk about what was reported in the previous quarter, which is Q3, but what projections are for Q4 and for Q1 of 2025. That is also very important. You have to think, if Elon says something, this was actually a really interesting comment that I saw in today's video, that Elon, because he didn't impress investors in the robo-taxi event, that he will share something today that he didn't share in the robo-taxi event. I think that's very hopeful. I would hope for something like that to happen, but not very likely. Why wouldn't he lay it all out during the robo-taxi event? Why would he allow that exposure to risk and that selling pressure to kick in for Tesla to go from highs of 250 all the way to lows of 212 just to make it recover? If there's a time to wow investors, it would have been during that robo-taxi event when momentum and buying pressure was high, right? It went from lows of 190 all the way to highs of 260. That was a very impressive recovery. But since then, we've pretty much given it all back. And now Tesla, technically, if I'm not mistaken, Tesla from the start of 2024, let me go ahead and double check. From the start of 2024, yep, it's in the red. So, and that was the big concern. At one point when it was at highs of, north of 250, Tesla was finally in the green. It was one of the few stocks that is part of the S&P 500 that was struggling in all of 2024, right? Nvidia's killing it, Apple's killing it, Microsoft is killing it, Meta is lagging. There's no question about that. So we'll see. Here we go. I guess we could run a poll. What do you guys think? So what's going on? Elite PC 74. Let's go ahead and run a poll real quick. So what are your Tesla predictions? Let's see if I'm quick enough. Let's start the poll. It looks a little negative right now. It looks a little in the red. Down 0.25%. What do we think? You guys let me know. %, nothing new will be revealed on the earnings call, maybe slightly new projections. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I feel like, and trust me, there is no better fanboy of Elon than me, right? I'm a huge Elon fanboy, no question about it. But man, does that boy like to talk? I mean, his expectations that he sets for the company are always extremely high, and I get it. He's very hopeful. He's very forward thinking. But no question. I mean, I ordered my Tesla Cybertruck in 2019 and I didn't get it until 2024, right? So it's like, obviously, I love Elon, but there's no question that I think it's a common theme that even if you do love him, you understand that he always sets the bar and expectation really high. And I don't want to say he under-delivers, but he doesn't deliver in the same timeline that he originally talks about. And I think that's just really important to acknowledge, right? All right. So you guys let me know. We have 55% of you are saying that you guys think it is bearish. Also, if you're tuning on in for the first time, I do want to remind you, if you want to partake in that live chat, all you literally need to do is subscribe to the channel. So, Ricky, his job is not easy. I could imagine it's not easy. All right. They're saying that it's lagging bad. No, thank you. Let me see if I close out Discord, if it helps out at all. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, I thought earnings comes out around 5. There it goes. Earnings are out. Look at that. Up 2% in the green. Watch out for a false breakout. No, that looks bullish. Holy smokes. Up 4% in the green. Look at that. Look at this quickly shift for all those that voted bearish. Watch it quickly go into the other side. 4% in the green, but watch for a false. Again, this is Tesla, an extremely volatile stock. Watch it completely change direction. Are we going to be surprised? Let's see. Still up 4%. What a beauty. Oh. All right, what did it come in at? I'm glad that it was reported at least 5 minutes within the market closing. So it didn't come in 50 minutes late like Elon did during this robo-taxi event. And there it goes, still going in the green. Strong push. EPS completely blew it out of the water. It was about 59 cents to 60 cents per share. It came in at 72 cents per share. Revenue did come in a little bit lower than what was expected. It was expected to be 25.4 billion and coming in a little shy at 25.18 billion. So revenue a little bit lower than what Wall Street was expecting. Earnings per share a little bit higher than what actually a lot higher than what Wall Street was expecting. Look at that. Dang. FOMO 224. The 30-minute time frame, nice gap up. Is it just me, or do I think, I don't know why, but I don't think it's going to hold up here. I do not think it's going to hold up here. I just feel like the market's always against Tesla. Just like the world. This is a very dangerous stock. Yep, it's a very volatile stock. And that's the best way to put it, right? And doesn't mean that you have to approach it in a scared way, but if something comes at a greater form of risk, a great way to manage and mitigate risk is to simply give it less size, right? So therefore, you can go in with a smaller position size. It doesn't mean that you need to be afraid to go long or to go short, right? Regardless of what your intentions are. And we talk about this all the time within our, LPP live trading sessions. If I see a stock that is either a lower cap stock, something that I don't normally trade, but I see there to be a really attractive opportunity, I just size down, right? Something, instead of giving it 50 or 10%, I might go in with 2 or 5% of what my desired position size is. All right. So wait for the conference call just before Q&A and the forecast are released year over year. Then we will see. Very true, right? There's a second part to every earnings, and that's going to be the earnings call. This is where we can see a second wave of more buying pressure and or a quick change of direction where market sentiment can completely change on Tesla and maybe go against it. But as of right now, Tesla is, in my opinion, doing a lot better than what I expected. Because of how much selling pressure we were seeing before, leading up to this earning report, I don't feel like I was very hopeful for Tesla. It just looked like everything was going against it. So right now, very attractive, up 6.7% on the day. I'm sorry, not on the day, after market hours. So amazing. Ricky, don't forget how bearish it's been this year. Oh, I talked about it before it reported earnings. It's one of the few companies out of the S&P 500 that, for 2024 is falling behind. There was one point when it was north of 250 that it was finally in the green. But after this pullback, it looks, after the sell-off from the robo-taxi event, obviously it traded against it. It's up 7.3%. Dang. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Holy smokes. Look at that. 7.4, 7.5. There it goes. It's chasing. There it goes. 230 per share. New resistance just broke above. 7.8. Watch it tag 8% now. 7.9%. Running. I like the question that we got here, and it's, how will this influence the market? So you have to remember, there's Tesla, it's an individual company, so obviously whatever it reports affects the stock itself the most. Then obviously it's part of different indexes. So it is part of NASDAQ, it's part of S&P 500, because remember, those indexes are baskets of companies, and Tesla does make up a percent of that basket. So you can look at QQQ most likely, and because of Tesla, I don't want to say just because, but it does influence it. Like, because Tesla reported better than expected earnings, it will cause NASDAQ to go up. QQQ is up 0.20%. We can look up SPY, and SPY, which is part of the S&P 500. It's the S&P 500 ETF, also 0.5 in the green. Very, very little. But remember, S&P 500, technically the top 500 most valuable companies that are publicly traded. Most of that is made up of more of like those trillion-dollar companies, and those tend to have a little bit more influence. But nonetheless, still influences it to some degree. So let's go ahead and go back to Tesla. There it goes, showing a little bit more signs of a resistance. We hit highs of 231. Is it just me that's itching to potentially short it? The earnings will be bad. It just reported earnings. Earnings for its overall revenue came in at 25.1. Maybe I should pin that, because you guys should all be aware of that. Earnings are out. Earnings are not bad. All right. Earnings call will push it down. Let's let the Tesla investors make some money. I hate how everyone's being so again, trust me, I get it. Tesla, yeah, it tends to overreact. I want to look into it a little bit more. I'm gonna wait for the earnings call. After that is released and how the market reacts, I will make a video later today to kind of summarize it all for you guys in about 5 minutes. I'll make it a 5-minute long video. So we still need to wait for that earnings call, which can ultimately end up changing direction for Tesla. So they're not wrong in the live chat where they're saying, hey, Tesla could sell off. It could, right? We talked about this before it even reported earnings. It just reported earning reports. Based off of that, it looks like it came out better than what was expected. Now it has its earning calls, and that's 1 hour and 30 minutes after it just reported. So right around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So around 1 hour and 30 minutes after the market closed. I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to wait for the market to react. And then once all news and info has settled, I'll gather it for you guys and I'll summarize it in a 5-minute video. Does that sound like a plan? Good. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your Wednesday to join me for this live session. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Remember, I do this every single day. Feel free to subscribe if you guys want to be kept up to date. 340 cut incoming. Tesla to 2,500. Tesla was at 235. Yeah, it was at 230 a few days ago. It's at 228 right now. It was at 230 a few minutes ago. So I'll make sure that I keep you guys posted. I'm not going to come back to go live. I'm just going to make a video a little bit later today. So I hope to see you for tomorrow's live trading session with the LPP team. Whenever it is that you feel like you are ready to join, it's the second link in the description down below. You guys can refresh it if you don't see the link. And I put a special coupon code in there for you so you can get it at 50% off. So I appreciate your time. Hope that we're a thumbs up. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.